Well, hello and welcome back to Cozy Couch Corner for another episode of Tea and Tarot. Cheers! What do we need to know today, please? Ten of Wands. The Empress reversed. Ten of Wands. We grow through what we go through. That doesn't necessarily mean that we wanted to go through what we went through. But whatever we did, we went through the healing process, we went through the learning process, we went through the process, and we came out of it. And now we're starting to bloom again. We're all starting to bloom again. Well done. The Empress reversed. This is my self-care card, but it's reversed. Right, are you saying it's internal self-care, not physical? So you're saying internal. I've got my solar plexus. So it's about empowerment. And it's about having our own agency, making our own decisions, relying on ourselves. It doesn't necessarily mean we have to be completely isolated and independent. But there are many things that happen in life that cause us to become dependent on other people. And we kind of shrink. It can come from domineering people or toxic people, but we can also carry that with us, that we always think someone else is an authority, that we always think someone else knows better than us. We always think someone is better than us. There is part of just human nature in the way our brain works. Brain likes to save energy, and one of the ways it can do that is to delegate decisions and just follow rather than lead. So it's quite easy to fall into that trap, but sometimes the people we're following do not have our best interests at heart. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But it's about we are our own person. It's about our own personal power. So this is reminding us we need to look at and be aware of where we are exercising our own power, our own decision making, where we are leading ourselves, and where we are handing that responsibility over to other people. And there's times in our lives when we need to do that, when we can't deal with stuff and we have to leave responsibility to other people and we have to let other people make decisions. But I can tell you that when I came out of an abusive relationship, somebody asked me if I wanted tea or coffee. I couldn't answer. My brain couldn't do it. I could not make a decision. And you don't want to get to that point. You don't want to get to that point. Look at in your life where you have agency, where you have power, where you have leadership, where you're making your own decisions. And look at where your power's being taken away and where you're just letting other people make a decision. Sometimes in a group it's easy to go along with everyone, but do they ever do what you want? Are you always doing what everybody else wants? Have you got one friend and they make the decisions and you just do what they want all the time and you don't get to do the things that you want to go? Sometimes that's comfortable and there's nothing wrong with that if you're happy with that and there's not stuff you really want to do. But have you said, oh, I'd like to do this, and would they do that? Or would they just refuse to do anything that you wanted to do? There's lots of different variations where this can be, but mostly it's about looking inside and being aware and going, is it a conscious decision for me to allow somebody else to take the lead, to allow someone else to make decisions for me in various areas? Or do I need to take back control? What areas of my life do I need to take back agency and take control? There we are then.